Hey everyone, welcome to Jason Explains Things. Today we're talking about an awesome Toyota 4Runner mod that makes a big visual impression, kind of sets your truck apart from a lot of other ones, and that is this behind me, the Prinsu Ladder. I've had this installed on my 4Runner for a little over a month now, so I'm gonna give you my initial review along with a fun step-by-step guide about how to install one yourself. By the way, that install is very straightforward, and if you end up wanting one for yourself, check the description for a link directly to it, and if you use that link, it actually supports my channel and helps me make more of these videos at no extra cost to you. In fact, right now, there is actually a 5% off discount code, right now meaning right now when I'm publishing this, so check the description to see if that code is still active, and if it is, go to town. So this thing is pretty cool. First off, it's made out of metal, it's powder coated, it's strong, it supports a Jason. So it's a modular design, meaning you can kind of choose how you want it set up. These rungs you can position at different points. You can add more, you can have less, and it's designed with the idea of being able to mount accessories directly to it. This whole thing adds only 17 pounds to the back of your truck. Okay, so for that initial review, first off, this thing does not mess with just day-to-day driving at all. You know, as far as being able to look out of the back window. Also, we've gone on the highway numerous times and we have not heard any kind of wind noise or whistling or anything like that. But we've got at least one negative, and that is drive-through car washes. First off, you can totally go through drive-through car washes, but they don't get this area right here as clean as it used to, so you kind of have to touch that up yourself. And actually, on the topic of car washes, I do have one thing that is a little bit of an issue that might cause me to have to do some disassembly soon. If you look right here, we've got these nice rubber pads that protect the paint. This one right here is totally fine, but this one right here kind of peeling, and it's still wedged in place for now, but I'm probably gonna have to take this top plate off, disconnect the ladder temporarily, re-glue that, and put it all back together. So that is one slight negative with this design that I've noticed. Now, maybe this isn't the most important thing, but it kind of is the most important thing. I actually love how the ladder looks. And my 4Runner here, as you can probably tell, is a little bit different. We don't have a Prinsu rack up there. This is actually a rack from another company, and I have a video about that as well if you want to check that out. The fact that it's two different brands and even slightly different finishes doesn't really bother me. In fact, I kind of like it. I have pulled from one company here that I like. I've pulled from another company here. We've got Prinsu on the back, and we've got another thing from CBI Prinsu on the front. And overall, just the presentation of the truck is rad. So we've talked about looks, but how useful is the ladder? Well, first off, it's useful, but I'm gonna be completely transparent with you. When I access the roof rack, I'll just do it right now. Usually, I use the sliders that kind of also work as steps to kind of get stuff up and down like that. So, you know, I can definitely do this, but frankly, that's not as convenient, and that doesn't obviously access as much of the truck as going from side to side. In certain special circumstances, I do think that this ladder could actually be very useful. Scenario number one, trasharoo mounting spot. So here in the Great Pacific Northwest, things sometimes aren't great because people love littering a lot. In fact, we did a video last fall where we cleaned up over 1,000 pounds of trash from this general area. And so in the future, in my off-roading videos here on YouTube, I plan on encouraging people to pick up trash whenever possible. But now that I have this ladder, it is a perfect spot to mount the trasharoo. While I'm driving along, I can see trash, I can hop out, and I can throw it in the back of the bag and make the world a slightly better place. Free hubcap! Scenario number two, if you have a clamshell opening from the rear rooftop tent, this is a perfect ladder solution for you. I actually don't have a tent like that yet. I have a roof tent, but it actually opens from the side, so can't use that for this other than setting it up. But should I, and I hopefully will in the future, have one of those style of tents, this will be perfect. Hey, well, that's it for my initial review. Let's jump back in time a little bit to my shop, and I'll show you how to install this on your 4Runner. All right, I hope you guys are excited to work on the 4Runner with me here in the shop. First thing, I'm gonna show you the parts for the Prinsu ladder, and then I'll show you the tools you're gonna use. Okay, a table full of parts, one of a guy's favorite things to see. So we got really nice powder coating. We got these are side rails. This is part of the top of the ladder. This is the bottom plate for the ladder. This is going to stick directly to the top of the rear hatch, and that's why it has 3M tape on it. We've got all our rungs right here. And then we have printed out instructions. I will have a link to these so you can print them out for yourself. Also, Prinsu CBI, I love you guys, but please start including these in the box. I think that would be very, very cool, and people like me would appreciate that. We've got all our hardware. We've got a couple rubber pads that we're gonna be installing. And then something that is not included in the kit that I highly suggest buying at the exact same time is heavy duty lift struts. I actually have a molly panel on the back of the 4Runner on the inside, and that already can kind of make the door not want to open, especially when it's cold outside. So you are going to want to pick these up. Then we have 3 different sizes of sockets and wrenches, and that is 7/16, ½ inch, and 9/16, also a ratchet, and then you're gonna need a 3/16 Allen wrench. And then also, because we're gonna be gluing stuff or taping stuff directly to the paint, I'm also gonna be using some rubbing alcohol and a microfiber towel. I started the install by getting the ladder roughly assembled. The rungs attach with these black carriage bolts and corresponding black washers and lock nuts. I only attached the 2 rungs in the center and left them pretty loose. Next, I'm gonna put the top piece on here. Now, the instructions are not telling me exactly which hardware is which, so I'm kind of having to guess. We're gonna need 4 bolts to put, 2 on here, 2 down here for the top piece, bottom piece, and we have 4 of these stainless steel Allen bolts. I think that's what I'm gonna use. Next, it's time to mount our top plate. You want your roof perfectly clean before doing this. The top plate hooks around the edge of the rear hatch and then is held in place with mounting tape. The left side of the top plate needs to be placed 4 inches away from this seam on the hatch. I got the plate roughly in place and then applied a bunch of painter's tape to be able to mark my measurements clearly and protect the paint during the install. The 4-inch measurement can be confusing because the seam isn't a straight line. So I measured in the same spot as pictured in the instructions to the best of my ability because the picture's kind of small. I measured and marked the final placement with a Sharpie, including hooking around the curves of the plate so I wouldn't screw up. Remove the mounting tape backing. I also did a small bead of gasket maker on the back of the top plate in the area that hooks around the edge of the hatch, touching the paint. This step is not in the instructions, but personally, I think it's a good idea. Do the final mounting of the top plate, pressing down firmly to adhere the mounting tape to the truck. Now, what I didn't do that I should have done is have the 2 short carriage bolts in place that secure the rest of the ladder to the top plate. I thought there'd be enough room to kind of sneak them in later on, and there was, but it was not easy. So, learn from my mistake. Awesome, we got the ladder loosely assembled for now, so it's time to start dry fitting it in place, but it's easy to scratch your paint if you're working alone like I am, so I'm actually gonna use probably the coolest, or at least one of the coolest features of the 4Runner to my advantage to fix that. Yeah! Attach the 2 rubber pads to the top back of the ladder like you see here. Carefully dry fit the ladder onto the truck and leave those top 2 carriage bolts a little loose so you can adjust the ladder. Time to prep the bottom plate. Use a razor blade to score the back of the rubber pad that mounts inside the edge of the bottom plate. This padded area will touch the painted edge of the rear hatch. With that done, bolt that bottom plate onto the ladder. All right, my wife is now helping me along with our beautiful small dog. We need to mark 2 places to drill some holes to mount inside the door, and we definitely don't want this to be crooked, so Amy is going to be giving me direction about where is straight, and then I'll mark the holes.
Jason.
Yeah?
You said our beautiful small dog.
I'm so ashamed. Okay.
That's where it should be.
Okay, so I'll just have to, when I tighten it, I'll put it a little bit that way. Cool?
Okay.
Does that look straight?
Yes.
Yes?
I hope so.
Okay. All right.
What are you saying?
Are you videotaping me?
What? Yes, I am. Last time you ever asked for my help. 4 sets of tape for Chris.
Remove this plastic cover next to the holes you're about to drill. Use a center punch to mark each hole, then drill a 1/8 inch pilot hole, and then the final 3/8 inch hole. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Done. Use a deburring tool to clean up the edges and apply touch-up paint to prevent rust. Reattach your ladder. Slide the connecting rail into the hatch and align it with your holes. Tighten up your bolts and install the plastic cover. Now tighten up the top mounting bolts as well, and your ladder is mounted. Install the rest of the ladder rungs as you see fit, tighten them all up, then pop in the supplied black plugs to all the unused holes. The ladder is done, but the job isn't. We still need to replace those stock lift struts. As you can see, they do not do a good job supporting the additional weight of the rear hatch. Luckily, this job is very easy. Here's how to do it. Okay, so replacing lift struts is incredibly easy. First off, you definitely want to have your door supported so it doesn't fall on your face. I have a 6-foot ladder with several things to kind of pad it. And then we'll do one at a time. And so you're just gonna need a flathead screwdriver to pop this out and then pop it out on the top, and then it comes out and you put the new one in. You just have to push up on the door a little bit to get it in. Easy as that. Yeah! Woo! Do it yourself. Well, my friends, if you want to follow along with my family and I in the 4Runner on our adventures this year, please subscribe and turn on notifications. You're going to be able to see if the Prinsu Ladder holds up, how useful it is, and please leave a comment below if you think adding a ladder like this is worth it for your truck. By the way, I have tons of other videos all about all these mods on the 4Runner, from the CVI front bumper to the sliders, the roof rails, MOLLE panels, suspension upgrades, all of that. It's all down below for you. So guys, until next time, God bless, and don't forget to do it yourself.
Handkerchief!